Man, what a day. Had a pretty emotional day. Not like a sad day, but it was pretty exciting. Figured out I won Airman of the Quarter for the wing, and just all types of emotions kind of enwrapped me. I was like sprinting down up this trailhead and just going like, I don't know, like literally 100 miles per hour it felt like. And I'd stop and then I'd think. And really the only thing I really thought about was really community, because obviously there's like a ton of riots going on. It's a lot of protests for, you know, fair enough reasons. I see where the hatred's coming from, but then again, I really don't think hatred's the answer for a lot of things. It can certainly get out of hand, and that's not really like the main thing I see. What I really see is people getting this herd-like mentality, and it's a very humane thing to do. I think if you really want to be empowered, you got to get out of that mentality. You got to get out of like following the crowd or doing what everyone's doing, or, you know, fitting in, keeping up with the Joneses. You go to anybody who talks about like success or, you know, making it, they never say do what everyone else is doing. They never say, you know, hey, you should just do this, be normal, you know. You'll never hear them say that. Just because everyone's mad, and fair enough, yeah, maybe you should be mad, doesn't mean you should reciprocate with hate or damage things, or, you know, go out of your way and hurt other people just because you're hurt. That just doesn't, you know, that just doesn't really, it doesn't make sense to me. You know, I don't know if it's because I'm a very sensitive person, or if I'm just, you know, a different type of person, but I don't see why we should reciprocate anything. I think we should be really questioning ourselves and analyzing our own systems of community, and that's really what I want to harper in today. Just community. What community do you belong in? You know, who are you trying to emulate? Who are your mentors? What are your morals? What do you believe in? Such an important part of your life is really like, who do you hang around? What do you believe in? What are you doing on a daily basis? Are you part of a running community? Are you part of a cycling community? A gaming community? If you're part of a broad community, you need to narrow it down. You know, like let's say you're in a gaming community. All right, cool. Which game do you play? Oh, I play Counter-Strike. All right, so FPS community, Counter-Strike. Now you're narrowing it, right? You're narrowing it by genre, and you're also narrowing it by specific types of games. And of course, you know, each genre, you know, they share communities. Like FPS genre, for the most part, a guy who's played TF2 would have probably, or a guy who plays Overwatch probably has played TF2, you know, or a guy who's playing League of Legends has probably played Dota 2, you know. And I think figuring out what specific community you're in is really going to help you figure out like where your morals are, who you should be, you know. Should you change? Should you move on? Should you abandon everything? I know a lot of people who are thinking about leaving their communities because, you know, things are just kind of really tense right now. I see people who never hated cops before that just all of a sudden hates cops. And obviously the people who've already hated cops, now they really hate cops, right? And I'm speaking specifically with the George Floyd case, but you can take this analysis really with any domain, with any realm. You know, any conflict you have, like, big thing with the running community is shoes. Like, what shoes do you wear? I know, what's the best shoe? People have debates about that shit all the time. It's stupid. It doesn't lead to violence, thank goodness. But it's stupid. It's like, oh, I think Hoka's are better because X, Y, and Z. Cushion, you know, cost, durability. Oh, I think Salomon's are better because, you know, comfort, durability, it's more durable, blah, blah, blah. You know, at the end of the day, you can honestly take up your morals and just agree to disagree with someone or try to find some common ground. You know, you don't have to lead to violence, which is what a lot of those running, you know, when people compare shoes, that's what they kind of lead to, is this, you know, like no violence sort of deal where you actually kind of come to some sort of resolution and there's not really too much conflict, but, you know, you guys have your own morals, you have your own standards, you're setting your boundaries, you're respecting each other as individuals, you're not really, you know, hampering on with each other, you're not pulling, you're not generalizing, you're just acknowledging that individuality but still maintaining that sense of community, which is obviously important. I'm not here to bash community. I'm just saying, if you're going to be in a community, try not to stray away from what you think is your morals or your values. Let's say, if you like Hoka's, run in Hoka's. Don't run in Salomon because everyone else, you know, in this community is using Salomon. Now, obviously, I know there's some examples of, hey, this is just a better product. You know, it's gives you a tactical advantage. It's meta, right? It's a meta item. Kind of like video games, you know? Like if you think about arguments with politics or economics or with running shoes, there's always going to be a meta item. There's always going to be a standard, right? A standard argument, a standard shoe, a standard formula. It's always going to be there. You could call it fact. I don't think it's fact, because in reality, meta changes. It changes with each society, changes with each civilization, with each time zone, with each culture, and it changes with each person. So be in a community, but understand your morals. You know, don't do something if you know it's wrong. Stand your ground. Even though you agree with what people are saying, if they're doing something that you don't agree with, doesn't mean you don't necessarily agree with their ideas, but you're just disagreeing with what they're doing. You know, obviously the looting and savaging of retail stores, especially in a pandemic, you know, like that's just, there's a good chance that Target might not actually be you know, prominent in the future if these protests give up or, you know, don't let up. And that's just really sad, because I know a lot of people who really like Target, and all the looting and things that are doing, it's not really solving any justice, it's just amplifying the problem. So know your values, know your morals, and come run with me sometime. It's a trip, man.